kids are being exploited by the very people meant to protect them, like Ryan Kaji, used by his parents to build a $250 million empire.
You're on track to be a teenage billionaire. How much does Ryan get to keep of all this?
Oh, be careful, Ryan.
This guy has been uploading YouTube videos about like reviewing toys for the last near 10 years. He's been doing this since he was 3 years old.
Or this child, whose own father forced her gender transition into a public spectacle. But the last kid on our list will leave you questioning if there's any hope for humanity. Starting with the biggest name, Ryan Kaji. I get it, you've probably heard enough about him already. You might even be tempted to click off, but trust me, stay with me. First, let's rewind a bit, just in case you have been living under a rock. Ryan, unboxing toys since he was in diapers, is now the face of a $250 million empire. But that kind of success comes with a heavy cost, exploited by his parents' relentless pursuit of wealth. Now, they've gone Hollywood, that's right, there's a Ryan's World movie. Because apparently it wasn't enough to sell branded toothpaste, backpacks, video games, and every toy under the sun. No, this time they've put Ryan on the big screen in what many observers are calling a shameless cash grab. It seems his parents saw the finish line, Ryan growing up, losing his cute kid appeal, and the empire slowly crumbling, and decided to double down. When Ryan Kaji hit YouTube in 2015, he was just a toddler unboxing toys. It was adorable, it was innocent, and it was highly marketable. At 4 years old, he couldn't have possibly understood what it meant to become a global phenomenon. His parents made that choice for him. They saw dollar signs and leaned in, building an entire empire on his tiny shoulders. And now, while his parents might argue that he's having fun, how much of that fun is genuine when you know there's a camera in your face and a director, in this case mom or dad, telling you to do it again but smile bigger? And where the heck is all the money made going to? Ryan might be the face of the empire, but his parents hold the reins. They control the accounts, the contracts, the brand deals. There's no guarantee that Ryan will see a fair share of the fortune he's built when he's old enough to understand just how much he's been used. Ryan Kaji is just one example of a growing trend on YouTube. Kids being turned into content machines for profit. Family vlogging has exploded in the modern world, creating an industry where children are the stars, but their rights and well-being are often an afterthought. Unlike child actors in Hollywood, who are protected by strict labor laws and Coogan accounts to secure their earnings, Ryan's World the movie, Titan Universe Adventure, is just the latest example of a much larger issue: the commodification of childhood. Platforms like YouTube have created a world where kids aren't just kids, they're influencers, brands, and profit margins, and parents are more than willing to blur ethical lines for a shot at fame and fortune. In this case, it's really not about this kid Ryan Kaji, but a culture that values views and revenue over privacy and innocence. It's about parents who see their children not as individuals with their own needs and dreams, but as business opportunities. And as long as we keep clicking, subscribing, and buying, this cycle will continue. Childhood isn't something you can get back, and no amount of money can replace what Ryan has already lost. But hey, if you thought Ryan's World was the height of exploitation, think again. The Saccone family is here to raise the bar. Vlogging, and more about identity, privacy, and the awkward truth that some parents are chasing clicks like it's an Olympic sport. At the center of the storm is their second oldest child.
The truth now. Do you want to be a boy?
No.
How do you know?
Because it's boring stuff, and most of the boys play football and stuff.
Edie, who at just 8 years old has transitioned socially from boy to girl. Now, let me make this clear. This isn't a criticism of any child's self-expression. Kids have the right to explore their identities without judgment. But the key phrase here is without judgment, and more importantly, without public pressure. With the Saccone family, it's impossible to separate Edie's transition from the ever-rolling cameras and the ever-climbing subscriber count. The question nobody seems to be asking is this: should an 8-year-old really be figuring out something so personal in front of millions of strangers? The Saccone family rose to YouTube fame with daily vlogs chronicling their life as a picture-perfect family in the UK. With 4 kids, a handful of pets, and a luxurious lifestyle funded by sponsorships and ad revenue, they've positioned themselves as relatable yet aspirational. But as the Saccone family's channel grew, so did the criticism. Viewers began questioning their parenting choices, from the kids' total lack of privacy to the non-stop filming schedule. And then came the bombshell, their young child announcing a gender transition.
I'm not like other boys. I'm a girl.
Edie has always been more attracted to stereotypical girl toys or girl things.
Is this what you've chosen to wear today, Eduardo?
Yeah, I'm a queen.
When did you learn what transgender was?
The media told me. She said that I was transgender and I asked her what that means and she said that means you're half boy and half girl. I think I'm mostly a girl.
Edie's transition has been a central theme on their channel for over a year now. Her parents, Jonathan and Anna, have made countless videos about it, including coming out moments, wardrobe hauls, and Q&A sessions addressing viewer questions. On the surface, they paint themselves as supportive, progressive parents. But scratch that surface, and the whole thing feels uncomfortably performative. The thing is, supporting a child who feels they were born in the wrong body is one thing. Broadcasting that journey to millions of strangers on YouTube is something else entirely. An 8-year-old is not scrolling Reddit forums or reading gender theory books. They're just a kid. Their understanding of gender and identity is heavily shaped by the adults around them. So when Edie expressed an interest in girly things, dresses, makeup, dolls, how much of her parents' response was genuine support, and how much was driven by the opportunity to generate content? This is by far a speculation. Jonathan and Anna have leaned hard into the narrative, featuring Edie's transition in video titles, thumbnails, and social media posts. And with every post comes the same uncomfortable question: who benefits most from this, Edie or her parents? The Sacones argue that they're giving Edie a platform to live authentically and inspire others. But who asked an 8-year-old to become a poster child for gender identity? And not to mention that transitioning, socially, medically, or otherwise, is a deeply personal journey, even for adults. For a child, it's even more complex. Kids are still figuring out who they are, experimenting with interests, hobbies, and identities. That's normal. What's not normal is having those moments dissected by millions of strangers online. Every vlog featuring Edie is essentially a permanent record, and when she's older, she'll want to revisit this chapter of her life in private. What if her feelings about her gender change? Kids are allowed to change their minds. That's part of growing up, but the Sacones have immortalized this moment online, locking her into a narrative she might not agree with later. Let's ask the uncomfortable question: how much of this decision was influenced by Jonathan and Anna's desire to stay relevant? Are the Sacones truly supporting their child, or are they exploiting her for clicks? If you're still unconvinced that something's off, consider this. Jonathan and Anna are meticulous about their own privacy. They've drawn boundaries around what they share about their relationship, finances, and personal struggles, yet they've completely disregarded those same boundaries for their children. Edie's journey is not only shared, but is packaged and sold. The Sacones are profiting off their child's most vulnerable moments while shielding themselves from similar scrutiny.
And show the world that it's okay to be who you really are.
Dad Jonathan recently revealed he's non-binary, and their second child, born a boy, is now a transgender girl, choosing to change her name.
And there's a reason most experts recommend approaching childhood gender exploration with caution. It's not because kids don't know themselves. It's because they're still becoming themselves. At 8, your world is small. Family, school, friends, maybe some hobbies. Your understanding of identity is limited by your life experience. It's time to stop watching, stop clicking, and start holding these parents accountable, like yesterday. But even accountability feels soft compared to Daddy of 5. While the Sacones and Ryan's world are just towing the line of ethical disaster, Daddy of 5 is the masterclass in what happens when parents take things way too far.
Your hair's not done, your teeth aren't done. I did tell you, you don't listen enough.
Take these down.
Mike and Heather Martin, the couple behind Daddy of 5, built their channel on a house of cards made up of pranks, discipline, and a constant undercurrent of cruelty, with their youngest son, Cody, often in the crosshairs. And when the house came tumbling down, it revealed the darkest corners of profit-driven parenting.
Frederick County Sheriff's Office are investigating the Martin household, but declined to comment to ABC.
A lot of times, abuse takes place behind closed doors.
Go and take the camera with you.
No!
It's this uber documentation and videoing of what's been going on that's so different.
With more than 750,000 subscribers, Daddy of 5 was once a lucrative channel, although the Martins wouldn't disclose how much they made.
We were all enjoying it. Everyone have confidence from this. Everybody was so happy to be a YouTuber and to be making these videos. I ended up destroying my family.
At first, Daddy05 looked like just another basic family vlog, but instead of sweet moments and silly fun, viewers got hit with pranks that made you wonder if these people were filming a comedy show or a crime documentary. The Martins kept calling it just jokes and claimed their kids were in on it, but it seemed more like the kids were just trying to survive the chaos. Many argued that the Martins weren't just bad parents, they were abusers hiding behind the guise of family entertainment.
You are the ones who filmed and put out your children being verbally berated.
Tell me what you did!
I swear to God, I didn't do that!
Being scared, being visibly distressed, and asking you to leave them alone.
I want everybody to leave me alone. I just want to be left alone so I can calm down.
Their defenders, few as they were, claimed it was all harmless fun. But as more and more damning clips surfaced, the defense crumbled. The tipping point came when Child Protective Services, CPS, finally took a look at the chaos and said, yeah, we're gonna need those kids, removing Cody and Emma from the Martins' custody and sending them back to their biological mom. The Martins claimed they started the channel to provide for their family, using their kids' pain as a means to achieve financial stability. And yes, they made money, an estimated $200,000 to $350,000 annually. But seriously, at what cost? Their kids ended up with emotional scars, their family was a mess, and their reputation gone. And while the Martins have faded into the background like a bad YouTube thumbnail, their story still stands as a painfully obvious reminder of what happens when chasing clicks and cash outweighs basic human decency. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this whole family vlogging trend? Has it crossed the line from entertainment to exploitation? Or are these parents just trying to provide for their families? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get the conversation going. But more importantly, if you believe that what we've uncovered here today needs to be brought to light, don't just like this video, share it. The more people who see it, the more attention this issue gets. And who knows, it might be the push needed to get Child Protective Services involved and protect these kids from further harm.